Hi all, my name is Balisara Pulu and I will be walking you through how to create a memorized report and schedule it to email you daily. Okay, so I will be using this test company called Skyline. And so the first step, so there's 2 steps to the session. The first step is to create a memorized report, and the second step is to create the schedule. Okay, so the first step, creating a memorized report, you can create it in your taxes, you can create it in your purchasing, your order entry. So there's like options. There's always like a list of reports that you can memorize. So your inventory, time and expense also has projects, your accounts receivable, accounts payable, your general ledger, and your cash management. Sorry. So you can actually create your memorized reports in your modules. So for the purpose of this session, we will be using accounts receivable. So we will create a memorized report in accounts receivable. So first step, you go to accounts receivable, all, and then under reports, you have a list of reports. So for the purpose of this session, we will use the invoices analysis report, click on the drop-down menu and click on report. So this will lead you to the filter screen. So this is where you narrow down all the information in your company to the information that you need. So for example, let's say you are in the sales department and you only want to see like information in the sales department. So this is the place where you can filter everything to show you what you want to see. Perfect. So your reporting period, I'm going to be using inception to date. And the reason is this is a test company and not so sure if there were any transactions during the month of October, so during the current month. So I'm not going to use current month. I'm just going to use inception to date. But on your side, you can use current month and also set your as of date. Perfect. So your filters, you can also filter down to the customers that you work with, so you can filter down your customers and your customer type. You can also filter down using an account. So you can filter down a lot of things. And so for your location, this location has a red star. That means that it's a mandatory field. It is mandatory here because this company is a multi-entity, so it has multiple entities, as you can see the list. So for the purpose of our test, we will be using South African on locations, and we will also filter it to a certain department. So for example, sales. And yep, you can filter it whichever way you feel like is beneficial for you. So perfect. So second step is to view so that you see how it looks. So this is how it looks. Your account labels gives you the customer name and the departments, location, any descriptions, the invoice numbers. So it's very specific. So once you're happy with how it looks, you can click on memorize. It's on the top right of your screen. And you will have this pop-up screen. Now you need to give this this memorized report a name. So I'm just going to copy that, put it there. And your description can be the same or different. You decide. So this public checkbox. So this, let's say you are creating the memorized report for everyone in your department. So you will have to tick the box so that everyone can see it. But if this is only for your personal use, you need to leave it unticked. And okay, for the purpose of this session, we leave it unticked and you click on OK. So once that is done, it will automatically take you to the Memorize Reports list under Accounts Receivable, and you'll see that there's your report, your Memorize report, and when it was last modified, and the owner. So you have this option to schedule now your Memorize report. So this is the second step of our session. So you will, okay, for example, let's say you had to rush somewhere after creating your Memorize report, and when you come back, the screen is not there anymore. So in order for you to access the screen again, you have to go to Accounts Receivable, or under Reports, there's Memorized Reports. Then you click on your Memorized Reports, then you get that list of reports. Then now the second step, you click on Schedule. On Schedule, you will also have options to filter. So the department and location auto-populated because of the Memorized report that you created earlier. And then the as of date. So when it comes to the as of date, you either have an option to leave it blank or to put an as of date. If you do have an as of date, you should know that whenever the schedule runs, it will only give you information as of that particular date. But if you leave it blank, it will give you information based on the day it was scheduled to run. So it will give you like the current information. Okay, so under your schedule section, we have a start date. A start date is the date when you want your scheduling to start, when to start. So we chose today. Yeah, we're choosing today, Monday. And the ending, we have three options. We have never, we have number of occurrences, we have an end date. So if you choose never, yeah, it means that you don't want it to end, you don't want it to stop, so it will continue until you come back into this page and change it. Okay, and then we have number of occurrences. So when you have number of occurrences, it gives you an option to let the system know how many times after the schedule would you like this to end. So let's say you want it to end after the second occurrence, or if you want it to end after the fourth occurrence. So you decide which option is better, or which option you want to use. So let's say you have an end date. When you have an end date, it's a specific day you want the schedule to end. So let's say, for example, you want the schedule to end in November the 5th. So that's 2 weeks of getting the report daily, right? Okay, so you have that, the end date, and then we have an option to the recurrence. So how often do you want this to happen? So we have days, we have weeks, we have months, we have years. So for the purpose of this session, we will be using days. So it will also give you an option how many, so from every 1 day, or every 2 days, or every 3 days. So how often do you want this to happen? Yes, it's daily, but how often? I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so for example, we'd want this to happen twice every 2 days. So if I get a schedule today on Monday, I'm expecting another one on Wednesday, then I'm expecting another one on Friday. So it's like every after 2 days. Okay, perfect. Now you have delivery options. So delivery options, you have 3 types of delivery options, but you can actually like select more than one. So I know that for this session, we should be like focusing on the email part, but I just want to quickly explain the store in Intacct. So let's say you store in Intacct, that's where you want your schedule to appear. in Intacct, right? So you need to give your report a description, and you need to also decide if you want it to be an HTML or a printable or a CSV. But because it's in the system, I believe an HTML is more appropriate. But yeah, preference. Okay, perfect. And then let's say you want to store it in cloud. So if you're storing it in cloud, you need to add where to send this report, this scheduled report. So you have an option for storage type. That's where you select if you want it in your Dropbox, your Google Drive, or your OneDrive. So you decide. Okay, perfect. So now, because we'll be dealing with the email part, so you will now let me just explain this part. So let's say, for let's say you're working in a team and it's the sales department team, and now you want maybe one of your colleagues to have access to receive the schedule, right? So you will type out their email, right? You will type out their email. Okay, I'll use my email here, and then you will take CC me because you are the one creating the schedule. So both of you guys will receive the notification, the email, right? Perfect. So I'll just leave that unticked for the purpose of this session. And then your subject, you can say reminder, right? Reminder, daily invoice analysis, right? And then we can say it's printable. And this printable, it will come through as a PDF on the email. And then your message, this is how you want the email to come through. So we can just say, hi, sales team. Please see the attached daily invoice analysis report for the sales department, right? And then you can just say kind regards, the sales department. And then you can just maybe put the name of your company. So you just use Skyline. Okay, perfect. This looks perfect. And then now you can just save. And if you look at the status now, it's no longer not scheduled, it's scheduled. So that's basically how you create a memorized report and also like schedule it for so that you can receive either an email or store it in Intacct or store it in cloud. So that is all from my side. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Bye.